This show is brought to you by Bussco, your entrepreneurial hub on the web.
Hello everyone, welcome to Survival Instincts, the Entrepreneurial show. I'm your host, Amy Kafash, and if you feel that you're about to go nuts while starting or growing your own small business, let me tell you that you have come to the right place. In this space, we talk about everything business while we try to decipher why in the world we ended up in the mess of business ownership. And most importantly, how to survive it. Today's phrase is, you gotta go deep. And on that note, let's get started. Welcome one more time. This is episode number 3. Hey! We're getting somewhere. Anyways, today in this episode, we will talk about what the hell does it mean to be an entrepreneur? And talking about obvious things like the title, my personal experience. I'm not happy about this, just so you know. Going a little bit on topic, on the first episode we talked about why it's important to have a strong reason to pursue entrepreneurship, and on the second episode we talked about some realizations that I have had along the way about the entrepreneurial life. Now, I asked in the previous episode to get a script. Need to get a script. That obviously didn't happen. They got me a whole outline, 3 pages that seemed like the Bible. And what I can tell you about this episode is that it's going to be long, because we will talk about multiple topics, touching here and there, and it's going to be dense. It's going to be a lot of information, useful information, hopefully. And yeah, when we talk or give advice, we always say it from a place of like reflection of our own reality rather than what other people want to hear. So obviously we always talk and it's so personal. We're talking, obviously it's personal, but you get what I mean. So with saying that is maybe I don't have all the answers. To be honest, I don't think I have all the answers. I don't even know what I'm doing most of the time. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that this is definitely not professional advice. This is just me talking shit and talking about my life and how I see things. That's all. What I can promise you is that I'm going to keep it real. Like, there is no fluff. There is this magic formula that you have to follow. So entrepreneurship. Yeah. In the first episode, we talked about what does it mean to be an entrepreneur, kinda. Give like a rough definition. We asked Google, but today we're asking our new friend ChatGPT, of course. Now, I'm going to use the computer here. You're watching me, so I'm going to share a few things. Today, we have to... And let's see. If we go back and we ask Google, what is an entrepreneur? It says... So, Oxford Dictionary is the one that said that for those who are obsessed with citations. So, entrepreneur. Noun, a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than financial risk in order to do so. Okay. Now we ask ChatGPT that, I'm sorry, Google, you are getting replaced. It says that an entrepreneur is a person who starts, organizes, and runs a business venture, taking on financial risk in the hope of profit. So, hope of profit, they are innovators and problem solvers who identify a need in the market and create a product or service to meet that need. Okay. We have a few new concepts here. On one side, we have, you know what? Let's read that again and break it down. So, now let me bring my glasses because I don't see. Okay, so an entrepreneur is a person who starts, organizes, and runs a new business venture. Okay, we see that as a business owner. Someone who starts, organizes, and runs a new business. That's like the basic definition. Taking on financial risk? Yeah, because they are the ones responsible for the business. And that is the last definition that we had. That was a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, okay, multiple ventures, taking on greater than normal financial risk in order to do so. Okay, so pretty much it's always talking about a business, like forming some type of business, and taking financial risk to make that business happen. Okay, you are the responsible. You had the idea, you have to have the willingness to risk. But now ChatGPT introduces a few more topics that I find really interesting, because comparing it to what Google said, it says that taking on financial risk in hope of profit. Hope of profit. That's a little bit more accurate because we don't really know if we are always going to make a profit. We hope that we have a profit with the business idea that we have. But to be honest, there's just no way to certainly know that your idea will make a profit unless you go through a process to know that that idea is feasible. So, hope for profit, number one. They are innovators and problem solvers. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because I know in the entrepreneurial community or business ownership community or whatever you guys want to call it, people who have a business, they tend to discriminate in a way that it's kind of funny, because they do like, oh, if you're not creating like the next Amazon or the next, Airbnb or something like that, you're not a real entrepreneur because of that innovation part. Like, they want to create something that doesn't exist. And to be honest, I think that it's more about taxis and cabs already existed. People giving a ride to others already existed. Now, if we see at what was the big thing that Uber did, is that they mixed the concept of taxis, that was a pre-known concept, to the concept of the internet that already existed. We saw how that connected and how it allowed people to share information, to connect, and it was mixing those two things together to create something new. But it was nothing about, that creates something that didn't exist. It didn't exist in the sense that, no one thought of putting those two concepts, or, what I have learned is that it's not that no one thought about it, but no one took action enough to make that happen before. Innovation can happen in so many levels that we only pay attention to those that do Uber, that do Amazon, that do Airbnb, like something crazy and wild like that. Because that's like the perfect example of what you could do. But it leaves out all the other small innovations that happen every day in our lives. And innovation not only happens in business and that you come with a great idea for a new business venture and you rack millions out of that. Like, that's not the thing. Innovation can happen in many different aspects in our lives. We only pay attention to those that do Uber, that do Amazon, that do Airbnb, like something crazy and wild like that. Because that's like the perfect example of what you could do. But it leaves out all the other small innovations that happen every day in our lives. And it can happen in companies where you have team players that have that entrepreneurial spirit. You can find it in everyday life. Like, if we see at what a really entrepreneur is. So, moving on, back again on topic. ChatGPT. They're innovators and problem solvers who identify a need in the market and create a product or service to meet that need. Okay. Now, we have the part of innovation, we have problem solving. Let's take Uber again. If we see Uber, then the innovation happened because they were trying to solve a problem. If we see at the history of Uber, they were just two guys that were running late to a meeting. They couldn't find a taxi or a cab. So they had this idea of, hey, we should be able to make something that connects people like us that are waiting in the taxi or like on the street for a taxi and connect them like in an easier way with the driver. They did that, they took action, they executed it, and Uber is now the monster that it is because of that. But it was not the idea solving the problem in an innovative way or coming up with a solution with to that problem that many people had. If we look like past the success of the company, if we look past the millions and millions that they have made, if we look past all the accusations and stuff that it's involved with the company, and we'll look at how it really got started, it was nothing new, to be honest. Like, taxis already existed. The internet already existed. It was more about putting two concepts or multiple concepts together again to solve a need that there was in the market. That it's precisely the next thing that it says. That they are innovators and problem solvers who identify a need in the market and create a product or service to meet that need. So when we look at the story, yes, it was the taxis, it was the internet that was already created, but what was the problem that they were trying to solve? Looking at the story of how the company got the first idea, was that they were waiting for a taxi and they couldn't find one, but they had their phone, but they didn't know how to go or like how to get one like in touch as fast to get to where they were going. So they were like, hey, if we're having this issue, many people are having this issue as well. So let's create a solution with things that already exist. So we have taxis, we have the internet, and we use those things to connect them and create something that will solve that problem. Because if we have that problem, other people must have that problem. So if we look then at innovation, yes, that was innovative because Uber didn't exist before, or maybe Uber didn't exist to the level that it is today. The founders of Uber, they are entrepreneurs, but not because they did Uber or because they created Uber. They are entrepreneurs because the person that they are. So when we break down the reality of what the hell is an entrepreneur, we cannot talk about just the business side, because the business side is just like 30, maybe 40%. But most of it would be because of the person behind it. And that's the entrepreneur. Like, what type of person is an entrepreneur that can make a business venture possible and successful. So yeah, I kind of agree with that definition, but that's not it. There is stuff missing. So we always talk from personal experience as a reflection of our own reality, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to introduce myself finally, because I assumed you knew who I was because I sent you the link or you saw it on my profile. So yeah, I assumed you knew me. And the other part is that, hey, this is my show. So hello again. If you're still listening, my grandma sure is. I think she is bumping up those numbers on YouTube. Anyways, this part is going to be a little bit more personal. I am not someone who gets that personal with people. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting episode. It's not that I don't get personal with people, it's that I'm not interested in small talk. That's all. Not because I'm rude or because I don't care about other people. I'm not interested in a small talk because that's superficial stuff. Like, I like to go deep and like really get to know the person, the story, their beliefs, like what motivates them and drives them. Like, so yeah, I don't think that I have anything like extraordinary about me to say like, oh yeah, I want to tell you about this that I bought, or like this, or I did this or that. Like, no. If I ever open my mouth, is to say something that means something or that it has a purpose or value. If you don't think that you have something interesting to say, just shut up. So yeah, so let's see the outline that they put here. Okay. Oh, thank you for being here. I forgot that part. You know, the thing is that with me, like, I always get so carried away that I forget to say obvious things, and then people think that, oh, she's ungrateful, she didn't say thank you or something like that. I'm just so in my world sometimes that I go on from one thing to another, to another, to another, and yeah. I'm trying to say thank you more often. I normally say it at the beginning because if not, I get so carried away that I forget. Thank you for having an outline because it definitely helped and it will help. I will read it more often, I promise. Okay, so apparently this episode was completely different to what I was talking. I mean, it was in line, but yeah. I think that the purpose of what I said at the beginning is that everything with the definition of entrepreneurship might be wrong. And it's more about questioning what it really means and going deep into topic than, yeah, you got the point. Speak out as reflection inform realities. Yeah, I talk about me, but only the necessary. Okay, context. Who am I? Okay, who am I? So my name is Amy Kafash, or that's how most of the people call me. My real name is Amanda, well, and many Amanda, but most people cannot pronounce that first name, and been moving around so much that it's just been like, Amy, make it simple. Amy. If you call me Amanda, I think that you will be mad at me, and I don't like it. So yeah. And who I am. Hello, that's me. I cannot give you a definition because I still don't have it figured out. But what I do know is that we cannot talk about an entrepreneur and only talk about the business side. Like, yes, you come together and come with a solution for a problem that makes money or hopes to make money. But when we talk about the entrepreneur, we talk about something so much deeper than just the business structure and just a paper telling you that, hey, you have an LLC. That it's something worth exploring. So with that said, thank you so much for joining to this crazy and wild episode. It was a little bit more personal of what I thought this was going to be, but I think that someone owes me a shot. Maybe we will continue this talk in the next episode. Maybe we will talk about something completely different. I don't know. Let us know your comments, please. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you think of this. If you want to continue learning about my experience and what happened and how Bussco got formed, or if you want us to finally enter in topic and talk about real business. And yeah, if you like what you heard or find it helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and do all that stuff that you do when you like your new show. Follow us on our social media, that is at bussco.com or at survivalinstincts_eshow. And again, this is Amy Kafash, and it was an absolute pleasure to be your host today. You rock. See you in 2 weeks. Bye bye.
This show is brought to you by Bussco, your entrepreneurial hub on the web.
If we look at Uber, like, that already existed. Like, ride sharing already existed. It was called taxis. Do you remember those? Those yellow things that drove around the city? In Venezuela, they were white. What we can create is mixing things that already exist in a way to create something that didn't exist before, in a sense, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. I hope it makes sense to you, but yeah. 2 guys, I believe that it was 2 guys. Maybe there was a third involved. I think it was 2 or something. Anyways, because you cannot take something that you mass produce and expect to fit everyone the same way. So yeah, that's what I think. That is one of the things that is wrong with the system, and this was not in the topic, but yeah. School and I never got along. I got into event promotions in Spain, then managed to graduate high school. Oh yeah. To be honest, I think that this was a power move from the board. Like, you have your own show, but we get you exposed out there. Let's see how that works. And now that we are talking about a script and an outline, I think we could also have like a calendar with the topics that we're gonna talk in the next episodes, because this should have been episode number 1. Anyways,